That's what they say.
Hard work,
Hard work, I earn my pay.
hard work.
Hard work, do it every day.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Snipes Castle, the U.S. Navy Sailors Podcast. I'm your host, Senior Chief D. LaMonica, again with another story for you about one of our shipmates. After speaking with our shipmate, Brianna Witherspoon Garner, last week, which was an awesome interview, we believe it is crucial to address the growing concern of suicide within the Navy. It is disheartening to admit that in several instances, the Navy has fallen short in providing adequate care for our sailors' mental health needs. If you don't believe me, go look at the reports. I've read them. Our shipmate HT1 Michael Sahlberg struggle with PTSD serves as a painful reminder of the urgency and necessity to improve mental health support systems within the Navy. If you or someone you know is currently experiencing a crisis, it is vital to seek help immediately. The 988 Suicide in Crisis Lifeline is available for immediate assistance. Simply dial or text those three digits, 988, and trained professionals provide guidance and support during these challenging times. For veterans who require assistance, please dial 988 and press 1 or text 838255 for specialized veteran support services. We'll get that posted on the screen for you if you don't remember it. As a community, let us stand together and prioritize the well-being of each sailor. We encourage open conversations about mental health, destigmatizing seeking help, and fostering an environment where everyone feels supported. Remember, you are not alone. Help is just a call or text or shipmate away. All right. And next, I would like to read to you memorial posting that HT1's Sahlberg's wife posted on Facebook. So for those of you who didn't know him, and just give you a little background about him. In loving memory, HT1 Michael Hayden Sahlberg, Mike, aka Salty, nickname given to him by his military brothers, was an active duty service member in the United States Navy. During his career, he proudly served 2 tours in Iraq as a Riverine. I know he was in a Riverine squadron. I didn't know he served 2 tours. Mike was a very dedicated man, not only to the service of our country, but as a loving husband and stepfather to his 3 children. He enjoyed spending time with family, friends, grilling, was talented at woodworking, played softball, and volunteered as an assistant coach for Little League Baseball. He held an associate's degree and was one of the most giving individuals I, his wife, have ever met. His motto being, I got this. He would give the shirt off his back to anyone in need. A few years ago, he anonymously donated bone marrow to a young girl who had leukemia. Mike accomplished all of the above while suffering with PTSD. My point is, you never know who is suffering or in a dark place needing help. Unfortunately, the distractions were not enough. Mike lost his fight with PTSD to suicide at age 32, July 4th, 2014. Fortunately, as a donor, Mike has since become a hero in other ways to many recipients and their families. We will never truly understand the darkness those suffering with PTSD go through. To honor Mike and the many other service members who have lost the fight, we wish to raise awareness to PTSD and suicide by giving support to anyone who may feel as though suicide is the only way out of the dark. My family and our friends are honored that Mike will live on as the namesake to a service dog caring and supporting our Hampton Roads veterans. With warm regards and blessings to all, Tammy Arnett Sahlberg. All right. What I would like to do now is bring in our guest, uh, some of shipmates of HT1s, and to actually serve with him in the division. I will add to the stage Richard Hernandez, Ace Vito. You there, King?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. There we go. All right. Yeah. Um, y'all worked. We worked. All of us really worked intricately with Michael while serving on the USS Forrest Sherman. And what I would like to go into, I'm like to go like weeks, maybe a week or two before going to that. I remember us on duty. I'm talking with Michael, and I'm saying we talk. He's going over some issues he's having at home, and then we went into, hey, I know I do woodworking, and I told him, hey, you build shadow boxes, and he's like, yeah, I can build your shadow box, and we was getting all the specs and everything together for him to build my shadow box, and that was maybe 2 weeks prior to the day. And I seen him throughout that time, and I didn't see anything wrong with him. I didn't see anything wrong with him. I remember we talked about his problem, but I didn't see anything wrong with him. How about you guys? Anybody see anything?
I mean, as far as concerned, I didn't. You usually see signs, and I would not have a clue that he was on mission or on that state of mind. You never know. It's hard to tell someone that's in that state. It's hard to see the signs when they're not showing anything. So I really had no clue. It was very surprising to me when I heard the news. Would have never known he was,
Yeah.
going through what he was going.
How about you,
Yeah.
Rich?
I mean, for the most part, I didn't see too much. One thing that always kind of hit hard about that whole time around there when that all happened, because we came into duty, we found out that one duty day, well, the week prior to, he wanted me to come over to his place and have a Red's beer and everything like that, or a Red's apple cider. And over my weekend, it just got tied up. I mean, as far as the signs, I didn't see too many of the signs. I know that he was going through a lot, and I know that, we're working down there in the shop, particularly with myself. I mean, it's hard to do. I always felt like we were a little bit hard on him, and that probably didn't help matters. But I mean, I never intentionally, at any point, saw anything to that magnitude. I didn't see that coming. And that hit hard.
What about you, King?
Uh, no, I mean we had kind of an adversarial relationship. Because we always kind of saw things differently. But I never like I was big into mental health at that time. Me and Rod Thompson, like we were all about trying to help people if we could. But he would probably go out of his way for anybody. Like you were reading on his wife's Facebook post, like that was him. We didn't always see eye to eye, but there was nothing he like. Even when we had our adversarial relationship, he would always check on me. Hey, can I do anything for you? Hey, do you need anything? That was just the type of person he was, and I don't think anybody saw this coming.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, nobody. Like I said, we stood duty just like a normal duty day. That day before we spoke, he talked about his problems he was having at home. Then we went into the shadow box. I remember him make. I got the pen around. I still got the pen. I don't even use the pen. I just keep it on my shelf. But I remember coming in that Saturday. It's like just a regular duty day. A weekend. I remember it's a weekend duty. Nobody likes staying on weekend duty. And came in. It was sunny. I remember us on the flight deck, turned over, and I didn't see Sahlberg. I didn't see Michael. And I'm like, man, this dude never late, because he always usually there before me. And then so I remember, Richard, I remember you turned over for him. And then I remember you saying, hey, I'm gonna give him a call. See, I was like, okay. So I go way down to CCS. So we go on CCS, do our little turnovers and everything. And I remember you coming through the door and you saying that Michael's wife just told you that he took his life. And I remember the first thing out my mouth to you was, I remember I told you, I was like, man, HT1 ain't did that. I mean, I was in total denial. I remember that day. I said HT1 did not do that. And I ain't and then I remember Gianna Temple going to Facebook and reading that last Facebook post that he wrote that says, I can't do anything right. And I mean, that hit hard. And then reported to the CDO. And then, really, that's what really that confirmation came in, because I was just in a state of shock. How about you, Richard?
Yeah, when I called and talked to Tammy, I just kept asking her like again and again. I mean, what do you mean? What do you mean this has happened? I just couldn't believe it. And this is coming direct from his wife, and she was in tears, and then I started to be in tears, and I just, it was unbelievable to me that that's what had happened. I mean, you hear about stuff like this all the time. You never think it's going to hit you anywhere close to home because you think you have a pretty good idea of, your people and your surroundings and what's going on, and you just don't see something like that coming. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to deal with. Finding that out like that over the phone.
Yeah,
It just,
and you made initial contact, so it was like, oh my gosh.
yeah, and I just got my pin from him like the week before. I mean, you were talking about your shadow box. I just got my pin from him. It was all surreal. It's never not been surreal. I mean, one of the hardest things I've ever dealt with on a personal level.
Oh yeah, yeah. And
I mean, I'm not trying to take away anything from what our subject at hand. It's just, it's still shocking to this day, is what I mean.
oh yeah, yeah. And that's what I want you, to get out, that to let everybody know that. I mean, this affects like everybody. Everybody. How about you, Ace?
When I got the news, I mean, keep in mind I had already separated from the Navy at the time. I was probably maybe 3 months in. I was at a barbecue. I believe it was with Richie and Hernandez, and he's the one who actually said something to me about HT1 committing suicide. And to me, I just stood in shock for a second, because I could not believe that he actually did that, because no one seen it coming. No one seen it coming. And he did give me I still have that pen that he made for us, that has it looks like a bullet shell, and
Yeah.
it's a really nice pen. But the memories I have with him was very small, but the little bit of time that I did know him, we did bump heads, but there's nothing like knowing somebody and then 3 months later knowing they're not here anymore.
Yeah.
Somebody you worked with closely, and he was your actual subordinate. I was his subordinate. So it hit home. It hit home hard. I always try to reach out to all of my close friends and most of the sailors that I have even dealt with and interacted with on my 2 commands that I shared during my time in the Navy. But like I said, you would not see it coming. And I'm glad you have this presentation, Senior Chief, that it's a need to have suicidal awareness and look at the signs, even though in this particular incident we didn't see any signs.
Yeah.
Unless you're talking to him and you see everything that he's going through personally, and he actually opened up to someone, you would probably think maybe, but still you could not tell that he was having those thoughts. There's no way.
Yeah.
And it's tragic, it's unfortunate.
Yeah. What about you, King?
I think I found out through a first class group chat. They messaged, and I was like, this has got to be a typo. And I remember messaging, and they're like, no, it's real. And the first thing I was like, I remember HT2 was on duty, and I was like, he's still on duty. I was like, and they were close. I was like, he just pinned him the week before. So I was like, the first thing I did was, rush to the ship and be like, hey, what can I do? How can I support? Did I need to stay on duty or whatever? And I credit the HT2. He was like, no, I'm going to stay on duty. So the fact that, he was so close with HT1 and he was like, no, I'm going to stay on duty. He's like, I'm going to do my part. That's a credit to him, and his commitment to the military when he was in.
Oh, for sure, because that duty day, I can get anything done. I can wrap my head around it. I went through the whole duty day saying this is a lie, this is a dream, this ain't real, this can't be happening. I never been through this before. This is impossible. And then I don't think I totally realized it until like the end, when we got to what is it, the command duty officer, when we all go meet and everything and we talk about it. And I'm like, man, it's for real. This for real. I spent that whole day just my mind was so wrapped around it. And it messes with me to this day. Because in past, when I tried to spend my career, when I was looking back on it, what I learned is I try to be as nice to everybody as possible. I did not want anybody to ever go home thinking, God, Lord have mercy, I got to wake up to this dude again today. I remember a few people I had wake up to and be like, God, I never wanted anybody to be like that with me. So I try to be nice with everybody, sometimes it's my own detriment, but I try to be nice to everybody. And I just never wanted to thought, that. But what like y'all kept saying, I just never saw the signs. I just never saw it, and it just kills me this day. Sometimes I think about it to this day. I think about it like, damn, I talked to this dude like the duty day before. I was like, I ain't seen nothing. And it just kills, it just eats. I don't know. It just, I guess it's just one of them things because you never go through stuff like this every day,
Yes.
But yeah, we went through that, and then the memorial came. Roche had something to do. He wanted to be here, but he had something to do. And I remember Roche up there speaking. I was like, oh my gosh, Roche gonna make me start crying up in here. When he was up there talking. And I was like, gosh, I can't cry. I was holding back. I was just holding back these tears. How was y'all at the memorial?
I didn't get a chance to go because I was at work at the time, and I wasn't even in the state of Virginia when the memorial happened. I was going out of town doing school.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing college, so I was driving back and forth to New York. But I didn't even get to make it to his burial.
A whole bunch of people showed up. And I remember Cammie Newton. Shout out to Cammie Newton out there. I don't know if you remember her, but she was pissed. She was pissed. She was like, she, and everybody takes it differently, and that's why I said for my shipmates out there, what I want you to realize is everybody's gonna take it differently. People gonna be sad, and some people gonna be mad at you. And he's like, he left those little babies behind, and she was pissed. And that's why I want to put out there, you got just talk to somebody. How was you at the memorial there, Hernandez?
Yeah. By that time, it just all sort of became numbness. I think I really wasn't sure how to act or how to feel. It started to become like a really tough time for me, not only because of that, but around the same time the year previous, I pretty much lost my sister, and
oh, sorry to hear that.
I was just kind of, by the time that we found out that duty day and all the time leading up to that and all the emotions poured out at that point, by the time we got to that day, I was just numb to the whole situation. I don't know. That's pretty much how I've become as a person now. Like when it comes to emotions, stuff like that, is ever since those last couple of years, it's like I'm just kind of numb to a lot of stuff anymore.
Mm-hmm.
and that's just kind of where I was at by the time we got there.
Yeah.
It's like really
How about
wasn't
you?
sure
Go
how
ahead.
to feel, or I don't know, just numb.
Yeah.
That's why I can put it.
How about you, King?
I wasn't there personally. I was on. I took duty fire marshal that day.
Yeah.
But I do remember seeing the video, and it was the memorial service was a testament to his life, the impact that he had on sailors. His ability to lead people and make people want to work for him. Like I said, we didn't always see eye to eye, and we probably argued a lot. But I had nothing but respect for him. Anybody, as you know, that ship pushed us all to our limit. I think the operational tempo, the back-to-back deployments, yard periods, everything just pushed us, and just it took an emotional toll on everybody.
Yeah, yep, that's the truth. That's the truth. Yeah, I remember, just remembering Michael, every day we come for duty. And I remember I was like, okay, now my friend, we go start this. Okay, we go work your way up through all the wash stations, and then we go get your EDO, and then we go work on your underway watches. We go get your EAL, all the things, trying to, bring them up, help them make chief, you know. And I was doing like, because I was like, man, you my project. And he was like, all right, got you, senior. I got you. Like I said, he's like, I got you, senior.
Mm.
And that's what I remember about him. He said, I got you, senior.
Mhm.
And then I remember everybody giving them crap about the 3M boards, giving them so much crap. When everybody was all screwed up with these boards. I was confused. Everybody was confused. I was like, don't tell me him. I was like, everybody's confused. But that's what I remember him, man. He spearheaded, try to spearhead everything. That's the thing I remember about him. He just tried to do as much as he could to help. And that's what I remember about him. He was a very helpful guy. And just one of them guys, you just love to serve with. What are you how you remember him there, Rich?
Yeah, he was always trying to, constantly be involved and see what he could do to help you out or take care of you. I mean, if I, need to try and get some time away to myself, like time off, and he'd always accommodate me and just always go to bat for me in any situation that would come up. Dude, it's like you said, he was just a all-around good guy. I know that he catch a little static from time to time, like on his background and on some of the processes that we done on the ship as HTs with VCHT, and I know that he hadn't really been much into welding and brazing, but I mean, he was always willing to try. He was always willing to learn. I know I showed him a few things, trying to get him back up to speed, and he was a really open guy. He was always wanting to improve himself so that he could help out the rest of this, the ship, the crew.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. But yeah, that's how about you wasn't there for him too long there, Ace, weren't you?
No, so I probably served with him maybe 3 or 4 months. I want to say, or I can't remember when he actually came in to our command, but I know vaguely it was not more than 6 months that I actually served with him.
Mm-hmm.
And in that little bit of time, um, yeah, he was a very helpful individual. He was, he was very, he was, he was very genuine. If if if
Mm-hmm.
if,
Yeah.
if you be, um, he was a great guy, and no matter what anyone goes through in life or how anyone should feel about any person, that's not something that you would wish to happen to anyone. And it did impact me to the point where I always try to reach out to Hernandez and all my DDG 98 crew that I remember, because I don't it's something that you want to avoid happening to anybody else, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just so unfortunate, you know. It's unfortunate, but I do remember the good times that I had with him, in the workshop. He tried to show us some things that he learned along his way, and he was a great guy overall. Great guy. I wish I knew him. I got to spend a bit more time or get to know him more or had more time, you know, with the guy. But I was already on my way out of the
Yeah.
service, and but from what I remember to be, he was a very, very helpful and genuine guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to put on this show, was the fact to let everybody know that's is going through some issues. I know today's, the world itself seems like it's going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I know that minimum man. That reason I retired is because of minimum man in the Navy, because it was just getting almost ridiculous, to the point where you can't even manage. They put so much things on you, and you can't even manage your people. You got to go down there and actually work. You're like, damn, I advanced this far up, and now I got to go down there, and turn wrenches and stuff like that. But the minimum manning is just stressing sailors out to the point where they're going above. I mean, doing suicide, because the suicide level is just staying the same or it's not even increasing. I've been reading up on this. I was like, the ship that Brianna was on, I think they was in the yards. They had like 9 suicides the whole time they was in the yards. 9 suicides.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah. And the interview with Brianna is what, led me to do this show afterwards, because if you listen to that show, you could see, this the almost like the steps towards, when she's going to, do the unthinkable, which was commit suicide. It was like shocking, her, explain how it happens. And good thing for her, she seeks the help that she needed, and she's still with us today. So God bless her for doing that. And that's what I want to get out to everybody out there, is that don't suffer in silence. Talk with somebody, let somebody know, hey, I'm about to do this, and they can get you the help. Or text. I got it up on the screen right here. Text, get your help, because you don't know people. There's not even your if you got immediate family, or even if you don't got immediate family, you affect everybody that hears about your you if you take your life. If you take your life, it affects the person that walks past you in the P way and just says, "Hey, good morning" to you, or "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" You affect that person, because that person, that's ingrained in that person's memory for life, and they didn't even work with you. I've spoken with people. I was like, "Yeah, I remember that. I still remember that day," and they didn't. I mean, they work topside, so it affects a lot of people.
Mhm.
So before you do the unthinkable, and you hurt a whole lot of people in your circle, because your circle doesn't just include your immediate family members, it includes your shipmates as well that you serve with. Get the help you need. Contact the suicide prevention hotline. Talk with a shipmate. Do whatever you got to do and get the necessary help, because we want you to stay here, because do not wish this on anyone. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy,
Yes,
because it sticks with you forever.
sir.
All right. But anybody got any last words or anything?
Yeah, just I know I kind of alluded to you about it earlier, senior, about how everything that went down with Mike was really tough because, in particular, like I said, just that week prior to, he was wanting me to swing over, hang out, shoot the ship over a couple, because we always talked about how much we enjoyed ciders and everything. Like whenever we go over to Joint Warriors, stuff like that, trying different ciders and whatnot. And I know he was really big in them too. But yeah, he wanted me to get a hold of him that weekend prior to, and I don't know. I'm sure I got busy. I can't. I can't even can tell you right now what that was, but just when someone wants to, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. If somebody goes out of their way to want to, live a little bit of their life with you, like come over, have a beer, shoot the shit. I mean, really consider that maybe that is what they need to help them, like get some things out that would help them continue on, or see things from a different perspective. Because one of the biggest regrets I have is not going and having that beer with them. And I'm not going to sit here and say that by doing that, Mike wouldn't have done what he did, but maybe that would have been a little something that would have helped him. I don't know, get through the day a little bit longer. Maybe the next week, maybe the next month. I don't know. Maybe who knows? I just wish that I would have taken that opportunity. And I know going through life, I've taken a lot more opportunities, people that want to share a little portion of their time with me, to make all efforts that I can to, provide them with that, because you never know what someone's going through. You never know what just that little bit can do for a person. So that's a learning lesson for me, one I'll always live with. But I grew a little bit from that, and to just help each other out, listen to what we have to say, treat them with respect, just like you said. And I don't know, do the best you can for each other going through life.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I agree. I think it's something that, us as people, we need to reach out to people you don't normally talk to, people that don't you're not comfortable with. Those are the people that you're not close to. Um always try to keep in touch with people, see how they're doing. I know in this particular case it was hard to see any of the signs, and none of us seen any of it. um Only because he didn't behave to the point where it gave you a sign where he was trying to commit suicide. He was going through things in life, but it was part of life to us, and to us he was like, he was a he was a he was a leader. He was a leader on our command, and it's something that we did not see, because not only did we not see it, we also his subordinates, so we wouldn't think that our superior is going through something that's going to make him do something that is going to affect everyone the way it did. You would never thought that HT1 would do something like that. Just like you said, senior, you're sitting there on duty day and you're like, HT1 did not do that, you know. And I think this particular incident, it gave me a more awareness of not to look at the certain things, what to look for, but look at other things, try to dissect that person's issues, and try to address it, and try to be there, try to be a support for people. So my learning thing was, I try to learn to support people, and just follow up with people, keep in touch. I know Mr. Hernandez, HT2 Hernandez here. I've talked with him a couple of times on Facebook here and there, check up on him and the rest of the crew from the general workshop. Even Manny from A Gang, RD. But I just try to keep in touch with people that made an impact, and even those that I served with that I might see on Facebook out, hey, how you doing? But it taught me to just be more interactive with more people.
Yeah, that's a good deal. That's right, Ace. You hit it right on the head. Yeah, just pass it through the P-way. You don't work with them. Say, hey, what's up? What's going on? How you doing? You never know what you might get out of a person. Hey, how about you, King? You got any last words?
I think the biggest thing, especially in recent years, with the whole like lower your expectation comment, that the MCPON made, that it's important for all sailors and everybody to just know their resources, because unfortunately you can't always depend, on your superiors. In a lot of cases, you're gonna have good superiors. Like I told you before, senior, you're probably the reason I survived my tour on that boat. Because you were constantly checking on everybody. You were like, hey, come into CCS and vent. Um, I still use your puppets, when I'm dealing with people in the merchant marines. Like, oh, you want to show up late for watch? Like, I still remember the whole puppet routine at 2 in the morning, and I was just like, you know what? This made my day so much better. Um, but I think it's important for everybody to know their resources. Because I know there were several people on the ship, like Brianna and stuff. We went to medical and they were just like, oh, here, sign this page 13 saying you're not going to hurt yourself. Like that was their solution to the problem. Sign a page 13. So if you do something, we're covered and it's all on you at that point. Um, so I made it my last few years in the military. I made it a point to push mental health, made sure the sailors knew the resources. Sometimes I had to tell sailors, like, I actually went to my CO on my last ship because nobody wanted to help one sailor. And I told the CO, I said, you know, I'm taking this person to medical and this is why. Like, I just walked in the CO's office and told him this. And he was like, what's going on? Like, sometimes you know, you have to take matters in your own hands to help people. Because you're going to run into resistance. You're going to run into reasons. Oh, he's just having a bad day. He doesn't need mental help. So it's important for those resources. The biggest one was the military one source. Like they give up to 12 free counseling sessions. You can either do it virtually or in person. So I would tell everybody, especially people, that are still active duty, know your resources and like everybody else said, talk to people. Interact with people. You see somebody sitting by themselves. I always made it a point to go sit with them. Sometimes they didn't like that, but more than one occasion, I ended up becoming friends with those people, and we're still friends to this day.
Yeah, yeah. And we talked about, I mean, your traumatic incident that you had, and you a survivor yourself, um, King, because when we talked, I mean, you went through a lot, and I mean, you a survivor just like Brianna. Both of y'all seeked help, and y'all got the help you needed, and praise to you for doing that as well.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
unfortunately, the ship didn't make it easy for us. Brianna said the same thing. Like, there's so I think we had an MR1 that he did like 3 back-to-back deployments. Like we were his third. It was either that ship or another ship, but it was like his third back-to-back deployment. He had a total of 3 weeks off in the last year and a half. So it's they're not making mental health easy in the military. Everybody that speaks out about it, everybody that tries to affect change, is just meeting so much resistance. So it's really a big deal, especially to have the people you work with every day support you. And I'm sure Brianna and everybody else will say the same. During that first year and a half that we were on the Forest Sherman, you're probably the reason a lot of people survived.
Yes,
Um,
yes, sir. I agree with that, King. I do agree with that.
Yeah, I tried. Like I said, I tried my best because I didn't want to be the last person on anybody's mind when they went home at night. At least, you could say, man, when you go home, man, that dude, that seems to be crazy as hell. I wanted you to have, at least a smile on your face because I know we was busting tail on that ship for real.
Mustafa.
I did anything to get everybody, just to keep their mind, put a smile on your face. Keep you engaged, because I know some of them hours we work were just insane. And
we were all worried about you after the talent show. After I did my interview, I went back and rewatched that DVD, and I'm just like I'm thinking to myself, man, if Senior Chief would have did something, we all would have been culpable. Because like after that talent show, I think Senior Chief McGregor actually was like, I'm gonna go talk to Senior Chief, make sure he's okay.
Yeah, man. I just do stuff, man, just to put a smile on people's face and make sure everybody go home. Like I said, the last thing I want on anybody's mind when they wake up in the morning is like, I got to go deal with this man today. What I want you to do is wake up and be like, what craziness is Senior gonna do today, or what he's gonna say today, something like that. But I want everybody to wake up because I wanted everybody to re-enlist. We was freaking minimum, man. I wanted everybody to everybody that got out the Navy. I was like, God, that's another body that we're not going to get. We're already minimum manned. I mean, Ace got out, Riverdeers got out, everybody was getting out. I was like, my goodness. But yeah, man, I want to appreciate all of y'all for taking the time out of your day to come back. Come on and remembering Michael Hayden Sahlberg, because I think about it from time to time because I got that pen up on my shelf, and every time I look at it, I always think about him, and I always think about that day because it just never goes away. It just never goes away. Sometimes I want to put the pen away because I just want to forget, but I keep it there, just a constant reminder, that one shipmate that just, that didn't make, unfortunately, that took his life. But I want to appreciate everybody for coming out today. All right.
I want to thank you for having us. I want to thank you for bringing us back to those moments and letting us reflect on memories that we had with Mr. Sahlberg. You was an excellent senior chief. You're probably the senior chief the best senior chief I work for in any command in the Navy, and I do appreciate your leadership. And still today, here you are, still leading us, and still, trying to take the lead and guide us somehow, some way, so that we can cope with life and move on. And I do appreciate you, and I thank you for all that you've done. Thank you for your service, and thank you for your humanity, for being human. I appreciate 100% Senior Chief Stark.
Eddie's not wrong. You were the brightest beacon on that boat, so appreciate everything you did for us. And
FYI, we did delete all your emails, so there's no proof of anything that happened on that ship.
Yeah, I sent some questionable emails that probably could have got me committed.
I think the whole ship was looking forward to your emails every week about 3M reports or people not signing out in the logbook or anything. When you saw GSCS Mustafa, everybody stopped what they're doing. We're like, we got to read this.
Oh my gosh, man. Yeah, man. It just, like I said, this show is like just for me. I said I'm gonna interview every single one of my shipmates because everybody got a different story. And so far, it's like, oh my goodness, I didn't know such and such, and it's because I just love, when I tell my son, he's still young, he's in middle school. He's like, hey, Dad, who's your favorite superhero? I was like, well, my favorite superhero in make believe is Batman, but my hero in real life, and I point to give him the pictures. I show him pictures. I show him, videos and stuff. These are the real heroes. These people I serve with right here. You got to have a will of steel to be in the Navy and do your time and get out, because these are the real heroes, and that's why I interview everybody, because I just love sailors, man. And thank you all again for coming, man, and all the good kind words. Again, anybody out there that is suffering, that is, feel like you're alone, you're not alone. Everybody is your shipmate. Reach out to me, email me, I don't care. Contact somebody before you do the unthinkable, because I wanted this show to reflect on, how we felt after our shipmate left us, after he did, I don't like to say the S word, after he took his life. I want you to feel that, to have that courage to go speak with somebody and get the help you need. And that's why I did this show. All right. So again, everybody, thank you. We closing out. Again, thank you, Richard, for showing up. Hey, Ace, appreciate you. Thanks,
Yes,
Jason, for coming. All right. Let's stay in touch. All right.
Thanks,
enjoy
King.
the rest of the day. And
indeed, you got my information, guys. King, if you need it, you could ask Senior Chief Starks for it. But you guys are always welcome to call me, text me, hit me up on Facebook, whatever it is. You guys want to hang out, y'all in town? Let's do something. I'm all about it.
all right.
Appreciate it.
Hey, Richard, I know you in Virginia Beach. You in Virginia Beach, Ace.
Yes, I'm in Virginia Beach, Virginia.
Where you at, Rich?
Right now, I'm in Denver, Colorado.
Man, I ain't never been to Denver, Colorado. Like I said, I do the stock market during the daytime. When I hit it big or whatever, my thing is me and my wife, we could travel all around the country to places we never been. So Denver, okay, we go make it out there. We go make it out there to Denver, come out to Virginia Beach. And what I say, we come out there, we can see the sights or whatever. And then, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna let you know we in town, and then we go out and I'm gonna buy you a steak dinner, have some laughs. All right, remember some good times, and then call it a day. All right, but that's on my bucket list. I'm gonna visit every shipmate in the states I never been in, and we just have a good time. All right, everybody. Hey, appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for coming. Take care. All right. Bye-bye.
Later.